Hey guys, Sammy here. If you're looking to get into competitive and don't know where to start, this video will help you build your own competitive team with Pokemon that you like and still have your team be somewhat decent. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Alrighty guys, and we're going to go ahead and start the team building process, and that's going to start with Pokemon Showdown. So Pokemon Showdown is an online battle simulator. If you don't want to test your battles on here, that's fine. You can use the team builder feature for Showdown, which is incredibly useful. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So you want to go to home, and you don't even need to like make an account if you're just using it for team building, which is what I do most of the time. So you just want to click on team builder, and then you want to click on new team, and then you want to format it, right? So if you're going to be playing singles, and by the way, singles players, you can also follow along. This really just works for anything. So if you click VGC 2023 Series 1, you're going to click Add Pokemon, right? And we're basically going to build around a Pokemon that you want to use, right? So let's see. Whatever Pokemon you want. So I'm going to try building around Marriland, because it recently won a tournament, and it's a really cool Pokemon, honestly. So you can figure out moves, you can figure out items and EV spreads later. What I like to do is pick out the core Pokemon first, and then focus on the specifics of the team. Once you pick the Pokemon you want to build around, I want you to hop onto the Marriland team builder. And by the way, these will be linked in the description below if you want to, test them out yourself or follow along. But I was kind of building a team already. So let's say we want to build around Marriland, right? So you'll be able to see on this website, if you scroll down to the defensive coverage section, you'll see total weaknesses that Pokemon will have, and it'll stack them with the rest of the Pokemon. So any glaring weaknesses that your team will have will be like highlighted in like a deep red. So let's say we want to build around Marriland, and you basically want to build around cores, which are like Grass, Fire, Water, or Fairy, Steel, Dragon. These are Pokemon or cores that can swap in and out to cover for their weaknesses, right? So we have a Fire type. We want to grab maybe a Water type. So we're going to use the filtering section of Pokemon Showdown, and we're going to filter out Water types, right? And once we filter out Water types, you can further sort them out by the stat that you want, right? If you want to maybe, sort by the Water type that has the highest attack stat, that's going to be Palafin, right? If you want to see the highest base stat total, it's still Palafin. You can also, see over here that we have Gyarados, we got Dondozo, the ever popular, we got Quaquaval with a really high base stat total as well. So you can kind of see here. I'm going to go with Palafin, actually. It looks really, really interesting. It's a Pokemon that revolves around pivoting and stuff like that, so we can kind of keep that in mind. So let's jump over to the Marriland Team Builder, and let's plug in Palafin here. So once Palafin is plugged in, you're going to see that now we have some resistances to some of the types that we were weak to, right? So Palafin being weak to grass, but Marriland kind of resists that, so it kind of cancels out, right? So we have total resistances to steel. We have 2. Another thing you want to keep in mind when building is you want to keep in mind popular Pokemon, which pikalytics is really helpful for. So pikalytics will show you the most popular Pokemon, which is, to no surprise, Goldengo, Garchomp, Murkrow, and you can kind of see down the list how it all goes. This is really cool because it shows you popular moves, right? Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, Protect, Nasty Plot. It also shows you popular Terra types, so you don't get caught off guard. Popular teammates. And this is all just going to be basic information for you for applying it to your team building, right? So if you go over here, we got Fire, we got Water. Now we need a Grass type to round it out. You also want to not have too many, like, you don't want to have too many offensive Pokemon, right? You want to have some Pokemon that support the team and kind of like assist the team and redirect stuff away from it. So something that comes to mind is maybe a Moongus. Obviously is a really good supportive Pokemon. But let's try checking what else we can find, right? So let's type grass, let's filter it out. And you're going to be able to see all the grass type Pokemon, right? So if we look here, grass type Pokemon, We can sort by base stat total. Brute Bonnet. These are not allowed, right? We got Go-Go. We got Meowscarada. Meowscarada is a really, really strong Pokemon right now. So we could actually not use a grass supportive Pokemon, and we can use an offensive grass type. And we can support the team with like something like Grimmsnarl with screens, or we can support with maybe Murkrow with Tailwind. So let's figure this out. I actually really like Amoonguss on here because it also helps us with Trick Room. So if our opponents are using Trick Room, we can kind of put stuff to sleep and really just mess them up and not really let them sweep us. And we'll figure out the moveset and everything else later, right? So let's plug in Amoonguss on the team builder. Okay. We gotta push enter here, I think. There we go. Okay, Amoonguss. So now we got, it's really balanced, right? Because we're using that core of grass, fire, water. So these all naturally cover for each other's weaknesses. Look at how many resistances we have. We have 2 fire resistances with Palafin and Ceruledge. Oh, and by the way, if you put the ability here, Flash Fire, it gives you an immunity, right? So that even makes things a lot better. By the way, Ceruledge is crazy. Normal immunity, fire immunity, fighting immunity. This Pokemon is so good. It's definitely a worthy building block or a Pokemon to build around. Also, Palafin really likes pivoting, right? So if you have Pokemon that are Volt Switching, U-turning, or Pokemon that are parting shotting a lot, just kind of pivoting and shuffling around, that's really good for Palafin to get its hero form. So what we can do is we can sort out by Volt Switch, right? Let's see what we got for Volt Switch. Okay, for Volt Switch, we got all the Rotom forms. We got Magnezone, Jolteon maybe, Kilowattrel. Palmont is good. Palmont has Fake Out. We could probably look into that. And it has a fighting type too. We got Pachirisu if we want to do follow me stuff. If you want to Volt Switch with it too. Shout out to Sajin. And that's pretty much it, right? So we've kind of gone through the list. I really think either Kilowattrel or Palmont make a lot of sense, but Kilowattrel actually looks really good here. Just because we can do Tailwind stuff. So let's slot in Kilowattrel in here. And then again, ability, you can choose to use Volt Absorb. I prefer not to. I prefer the Wind Power. The amount of damage output you get on electric moves after using a wind-based move is incredible. And you can look here. Look, we have grass resistances. We have 3. We have fighting immunities or resistances, a total of 3 as well. So we're looking really, really good. We don't have any glaring weaknesses. We have 2 weaknesses to ice. But offensively or defensively, ice is not a really good type. So we're not too worried about it. We're just worried about coverage moves that would hit us with ice. So, okay, we got our core. We got 2 physical attackers, 1 special attacker. We got 1 support. We need to slot in another support. I'm really thinking Grimmsnarl works really, really well here with Palafin, given that Palafin has an amazing base stat total. And I'm already thinking I want to use Covert Cloak on Grimmsnarl. So I'm just going to put that on there because that's something that I want to use. And then if not, we can always change it. But Grimmsnarl, Prankster, and Parting Shot is just kind of something that I know that I want to use, so I'll come back to that. And then Volt Switch on Kilowattrel too. And then we can also look for U-turn, right? U-turn Pokemon. We have Annihilate with Choice Scarf. And we don't have any fighting types, right? So let's try slotting in Grimmsnarl and Annihilate. That Grim and Annihilate. Look at that. The team looks solid. So if you take a look here, we got 2 normal immunities. We got 2 fighting immunities and 2 resistances. We got Dragon immunity with Grimmsnarl. And a total of 4 fighting immunities. That's crazy to me. Steel immunities are really good. We got 2 weaknesses to Fairy, but 2 resistances, which is really, really good. And so now that we got the members of the team kind of sorted out, what we want to do now is figure out movesets, spreads, items, and all the nitty-gritty details of your team, right? So you got to first identify who are your sweepers, what are your win conditions, right? So looking at the team right now, it seems like we have Annihilate to deter Intimidate, but in the case where maybe Annihilate doesn't really get the job done, we can actually put a Clear Amulet on Cerulege, and this is really good because if Cerulege can't be intimidated and Flash Fire prevents it from being burned, it's an exceptional physical attacker, right? So this makes it incredible as a really powerful offense, right? So let's do that. And then Palafin, we still don't know. We know we want Choice Scarf on Annihilate, right? We want fast U-turns to pivot. U-turned. Fast U-turns to pivot, Palafin in and out, and reposition. We do know we want Parting Shot, we want Fake Out, we want Sucker Punch. Maybe Taunt. I mean, Taunt could work, but we might also just need maybe something like a Spirit Break, right? Just having some fairy coverage is really, really good. And, okay, we got Fake Out, we got our Covert Cloak, Kilowattrel obviously is going to need a Focus Sash, right? We're going to go Wind Power, we're going to have Tailwind as well. I think Air Slash makes a lot of sense too. And then the last move is a toss-up between, do you want to protect or do you want more offense, right? You could do something cool like Terra Ice and Terra Blast. The coverage between electric and ice is incredible. My singles players will know that Bolt Beam combo. It's the most famous combination. Electric and ice covers a lot of the stuff. But I'm thinking we could probably do Protect here. We'll come back to Kilowattrel because we definitely can rework it. But Amoonguss, Rage Powder, no brainer. Spore as well. And then the last two moves are a toss-up. Obviously, we want Clear Smog for Dundozo, Ripbozo, and then to get rid of all the debuffs, right? And then the last thing can be, you can do Pollen Puff, just to kind of do damage and heal your allies if you need to. Gives you flexibility. But if you don't want Pollen Puff, you can do something like Sludge Bomb if you want coverage for fairies. We do not have any steel types, so I think Pollen Puff is fine. We have resist for fairies with fire types, and then we hit them neutrally. So you gotta remember, hitting neutral is also a really good thing. Okay. And then Grimmsnarl set is done. So this is U-turn close combat for sure. We can do something like Rage Fist. And then we can do... What's the other move? Oh, we can do Final Gambit if we really want to just trade kills really, really early. And the set for Annihilate is really no-brainer. Just 252, 252. And we can do Adamant because we're running a Choice Scarf, just for more damage. And then we can run 4 points in HP. Okay, looks good. So I'm definitely thinking we can put a Life Orb on Palafin. Life Orb, Water Terra boosted Bullet Punches, or is that what it's called? Bullet Punch, Jet Punch. There we go. It's basically a more powerful Aqua Jet. We definitely want Ice Punch. Actually, let's filter out by ice, right? So let's use the filters that I was talking about. And then let's further filter out the category by physical. So the only physical ice move that Palafin Hero has is gonna be Ice Punch. So we're gonna put that on. And then we can do something like, we can keep physical on. We can do Flip Turn, and then we can do Protect. Or if we want more upfront water damage, we can do Wave Crash. Or if we want coverage, we can do Close Combat, right? So it really depends on how our team coverage looks. And if you go back to the Marriland Team Builder, there's a feature over here that lets you look at your offensive coverage. So under Enable Advanced Mode, you click this box here, and then you can select the moves that your team's gonna have, right? So let's do Bitter Blade. Okay, so it looks like the new moves are not on here, so just use a ghost move. Could be Shadow Claw. You can do a fire move. Oh wait, is Bitter Blade ghost or? Wait, I'm trolling. I think it's fire. It is fire. Okay. So we'll call it Flare Blitz just for posterity's sake. So let's do Flare Blitz. Okay. We'll do Shadow Sneak. Good. And then Palafin, we'll do Aqua Jet because Jet Punch is not going to be on here. We'll do Ice Punch for coverage. And then we're also going to do Amoonguss. We'll do Pollen Puff because we're going to have some bug coverage there. Come on. And didn't let me finish typing. Volt Switch. Very good. Air Slash. And you'll see when I get to the end, Spirit Break. Sucker Punch. So you're going to see down here, offensive coverage, right? We absolutely murder grass types. We got Ice, we got Bug, we got Flying, we got Fire. We absolutely murder Psychic types. Oh, and Sylveon's on here for some reason. Let me swap that out for Annihilate. There we go. Okay, looks good. Annihilate is going to have Bug coverage. U-turn. U-turn. You're gonna make me spell it out. Alright, fine. Come on. There we go. And then you want Close Combat. And then we don't have Shadow Claw, or yeah, we'll just put Shadow Claw in here. We don't have Rage Fist. Okay. So the coverage looks really good. Psychic and Grass types, we have an amazing matchup. We have an amazing matchup into Ghosts, into Dark. And this is really important because Hydreigon, Murkrow, Golden Go, even Garchomp. There's a lot of Pokemon that are very weak to, you know, Grimmsnarl's Fairy moves, and then the Bug moves, and then the U-turn as well. So many Dark types in the meta right now, right? So, yeah, looks good, looks good. So do we need to add Close Combat to Palafin? Probably not. We already have it over here. So with that being said, let's take a look at Palafin. We'll just add Protect. And we'll go with the standard 252 HP, 252 speed. One thing that you can do, and if you want to EV your Pokemon to outspeed certain things, you can look over here at the popular Pokemon on the list. And if you look over here, let's say you want to make sure that you outspeed Armarouge, right? So one thing you can do, well, actually Armarouge is not a very good example. Let's do Hydreigon, right? 98. So let's go back to the Showdown team builder. Let's go back and create a new little team list. And then let's do VGC. And then let's add Hydreigon, right? So what we're going to do, and let's say modest Hydreigon, right? So let's do this. I mean, it's not going to do anything, but I'm just showing. Let's do max speed modest, right? 150. Okay. So if you go back, let's add Palafin on here. So if you want to make sure that your Palafin is always outspeeding Hydreigon, let's say you want to hit it with an Ice Punch, right? And you want to OHKO it. There's no tail end, no anything. So you got to hit 150 speed. 151. You have to outspeed it by 1 point, right? So what you can do here, you can do this. 244, right? That guarantees that you're outspeeding Hydreigon modest all the time. Even without your priority moves, right? Because your priority moves obviously will outspeed it, but if you want to make sure that you're always faster than it at a neutral pace, no Trick Room, no Tailwind, no Thunder Wave shenanigans, you will always go first. And this is Adamant, right? So this is Adamant. But if you wanted to go Jolly, for whatever reason, I don't recommend you do, but if you wanted to go Jolly, you'd need even less speed. 151, you would need 140, and then you can dump all of it into attack. You can do some HP. If you think you're going to be facing a lot of special attackers, actually there's a lot of grass physical attackers, right? You can dump it all in defense. And then if you want to get even more into detail, you can do the Showdown damage calculator, and you can run damage calculations for your Pokemon. That's a little bit more advanced. The more standard stuff is just outspeeding things that you think you're going to need to outspeed. You're not going to be outspeeding Garchomp because it's naturally a faster base speed of 102. And those usually go Jolly. So you're never outspeeding it. But if you want to, make sure you're doing more damage, you can do Adamant max attack. And then you can do, some some HP to make sure you're bulky. So you kind of make up for it, right? So this is a really good showcase. Another good example, I think it was Fede Campo. He won with a Ceruledge build, and his Ceruledge was EV'd to 114 speed. I want to talk about that because I recently EV'd my Sylveon to hit that speed. And you know what 114 speed actually hits? Let me show you. So Tyranitar is a base speed of 61. So if you're adamant and you go max speed, you're hitting 113, right? So this 68 speed investment, make sure that you're outspeeding Tyranitar at a neutral pace, right? This is really good, right? So if it comes down to a 1v1 and you need to hit a critical Bitter Blade, then there you go. Or if you want to run close combat and outspeed it, that's something you can do as well. So this is kind of like the things that you can do with speed. If there's certain threats that you think you're going to deal with and that you want to make sure that you're outspeeding at all times, this is really, really helpful. Yeah. What else hits 113 speed? I think Sylveon. I know it was something else. I know the 114. Let me check the speed stats for base 60s. I know there's something else. Let's scroll down to base 60s. It's all the way down here. Magnezone Orangro Sylveon's a big one. So maybe he EV'd it to outspeed certain Sylveon sets. I might have to speed creep my Sylveon to make sure I outspeed. Oh, you know what? It's Dondozo. Dondozo Jolly max speed, I think, hits a very important speed stat that he EV'd for. Never mind. It's base 95. Okay, no, then it's definitely not Dondozo. But this is basically what I mean, right? So for example, Sylveon. This is my Sylveon set, by the way. You can do something like 114, right? I think it was one. Oh, I'm running Timid. So it's plus minus here. Oh wait, right here. There we go. And then 114, right? So it's 188. So 188 speed Sylveon will make sure that you're outspeeding Tyranitar all the time at a neutral pace, right? No Tailwind, no Trick Room. So that's really good. You know, Hyper Voice really, really big into Tyranitar. Does a lot of damage, especially if Tyranitar terastallizes to something like Grass. Where is it? Grass. There we go. So if Tyranitar terastallizes to Grass, Ceruledge can, you know, smack it with a Bitter Blade, and that's GG's. Otherwise, if it's faster than you, even with Terra Grass, it can hit you with a Rock Slide and possibly be game ending, right? So there you have it. It's very, very straightforward. You know, just make sure that you're balancing out your team. Make sure that you have, let me go back to the team just to kind of showcase it. Make sure you have some support on it. You know, make sure you have a way to stop Trick Room. Taunt is a really good way. Or having an answer to Trick Room with Amoonguss. It's obviously really good. You can bring your own Trick Room sweeper, by the way, and there's nothing wrong with that. So for example, if I wanted to, I could slot in Torkoal in here. And if they set up Trick Room, I just swap in my Torkoal and just sweep them with their own Trick Room, you know. But there you have it, guys. That's basically the team building guide. You can see here, you're really balanced out. You have good coverage here. And that's pretty much it for the video. If you're enjoying, you know, if this was helpful for you, to, you know, make your own teams, I'd appreciate it if you like the video, and then if you could subscribe. I am bringing more VGC content. I'm just getting started here, so thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.